ghost of mother, lingering death. I wrote those words on the first page of her diary while the embalmer was still stitching her mouth shut. For months she had lain in that narrow bed, breaths rattling like loose bones, black hair scattered across the pillow, her face sinking into an outline of pain. At dawn, when she finally exhaled for the last time, her features froze in mild surprise, as if oblivion had arrived a little earlier than she'd agreed. We buried her under a sky swollen with rain. Thunder rolled, clergy whispered, distant cousins sobbed into gloved hands. Yet the coffin had scarcely settled before I felt her presence again, thin, chill, coiling around my ribs. That same night I woke to darkness folding at the foot of my bed. A silhouette stood there, motionless. From it came a voice brittle as cracking ice. "You have to live before you die young." I could not speak. I could only stare while the shape dissolved back into the gloom. Morning brought the scent of wet earth and hemlock. Mother's diary lay open on my desk, pages turning, though no window was open. Someone, or something, had sketched a door that did not exist. A door drawn on the highest floor, where roof met night. A warning no one would ever read but me. I searched scripture, apocrypha, half-burned grimoires orphaned in the village library, looking for a name, a ritual, a reprieve. All I found were fragments. Ghost of Perdition, dedicated hunter, feeder upon devotion. It cracks the earthly shell, crawls inside the dying, and wears them like a disguise. Love, it claimed, is the easiest path back into the world of breath. Still I hoped. I brewed herbs mother once used for fevers, now laced with hemlock reserved for gods, not ghosts. I traced salt circles beneath her bed, whispered prayers until my throat felt flayed. Yet each night she returned stronger. Candlelight slipped through the seams of her chest like moonlight through broken boards. She spoke with two tongues, one soothing, one venomous. "Keeper of holy hoards," she cooed. "Keeper of holy whores," she mocked. "Open the door in the attic and set me free." Days blurred. I caught myself answering her aloud, bargaining with empty rooms. Villagers stopped visiting. They said sorrow had driven me mad. Perhaps they were right. Yet grief was not the weight on my shoulders. Hope was. Hope that some sliver of my real mother remained beneath the parasite, waiting to be saved. One storm-shredded evening, the drawings in the diary changed. The attic door now stood open, greenish light oozing out. Beneath the sketch, a single sentence pulsed in rust-red ink. "Live before dying." I lit a lone candle and climbed the staircase no carpenter had ever built, steps spiraling higher than the house should allow. Walls sweated resin. The railing throbbed like a vein beneath my palm. When I reached the landing, the latch lifted without touch, and darkness inhaled me. Inside, Mother hovered over warped floorboards, her feet hovering inches above the wood. Light leaked from her sternum, illuminating a second figure nested within her frame. A mask of bone and shadow, the ghost of perdition. It regarded me with hollows for eyes, brimming with hunger, yet its voice was indisputably hers. "Beloved son, look how despair claws at what is to come. Surrender, and your pain will end." I stepped into a faint circle of radiance and tasted iron on my tongue. Memory surged, Mother's laughter while brushing my hair, lullabies echoing through sleepless fevers, her hand squeezing mine before the doctor uttered hopeless words. Love flooded my chest, and the ghost leaned forward, drinking every drop. Realization struck like a hammer. It fed on affection. If I cut the flow, the beast would starve. But severing love is no simple act. To destroy the parasite, I had to destroy the memories that sustained it. That meant unmaking the very bond that proved we were once alive together. My fingers closed around a rust-flecked blade. I drew it across my palm. Blood spattered the warped floor. With each falling drop, I spoke our happiest moments, backwards. I unwound them like threads from a loom. Bedtime stories recited in reverse. The last birthday candle inhaled instead of blown out. The first lullaby ending on its opening note. As I tore them free, the attic howled. Joists buckled. And Mother's eyes, her real eyes, flared with sudden horror. She understood what I was doing. "Everything unstained will rot," the ghost shrieked. "All you cleanse will soil." But I pressed on. I revoked her kisses, her consolations, her sacrifice. I named her illness, the night I found her shivering in her own sweat, the moment fear replaced hope. Then, at the edge of breath, I denied even that. The light within her chest sputtered, darkened, collapsed. The parasite screamed once, an infant discovering pain, then tore itself free in a cyclone of ash. It vanished through the cracked ceiling like smoke up a chimney. Mother's form crumpled silently to the floor, lightless, weightless, untouched by time. When dawn seeped through a broken roof tile, the attic stood empty. My candle had long since died, yet I saw clearly. The pillow in Mother's room bore no strands of hair. The diary lay shut and blank. The crimson ink evaporated without trace. She was gone, truly gone, and with her every memory I had renounced. I staggered to the window. Outside, the world persisted. Crows bickering, dew gleaming, children laughing beyond the gate. Yet inside, silence drummed louder than any heartbeat. I had won, yes, but victory was hollow. I was a fortress without inhabitants. Now I sit at this desk, speaking to you. Whoever hears these words, whoever dares inhale the dust of my confession. You ask why we need to live at all when living is merely practicing loss. I have no answer. Perhaps the diary was right. Live before dying. Perhaps living means choosing which ghost to keep and which to banish. Some nights, as sleep unstitches my vigilance, I feel a hand brush my cheek, warm, maternal, unmistakable. I do not know whether it is forgiveness or the hunter resuming its call. The door atop the stairs remains, invisible yet present, and a dedicated hunter never abandons the scent. If you hear him, do not answer. In his world, the victim is always the prey. Live before dying.